Right, this is a quick walk around video. This is for a Honda CR-V 2.2 Executive. Obviously a diesel car, registered in 2005. This car's just covered 60,600 miles, so a lovely low mileage car. It's in really lovely condition. I'll just go around the front of the car for you. All the lights and lenses there completely clear and intact. Front bumper's very, very clean indeed. Hardly a mark of any note. Bonnet of the car, hard to find a single stone chip on there. It really is very, very, very clean indeed. Near side of the vehicle, very smooth in the panel work. I think I saw one tiny little dimple dent, but hardly anything at all. Front wing there's again completely unmarked. Front alloy really good, just a tiniest bit of light curbing on the top right there. Worth pointing out, I'm doing this video just before going to have 4 brand new tyres fitted to this car, so that the tyres you see on here are coming off. 4 brand new ones are going on. The panel work down this near side, very clean indeed, just the odd minor tiny little mark to touch in. I mean, I'm talking minuscule. Rear alloy, I can't see any marks on there at all. And edge of the rear bumper there, really good. We come around the back of the car. There is a light mark just on the bumper down there, whether you can just see that. So that's the only sort of mark on the back bumper I can see, and a few little touch-ins required on the hard wheel cover there. But I'm nitpicking, but that has to be taken into account. Of course, this is a 12-year-old car. Panel work down the side again, very good. Just any marks are very light indeed. Certainly, most will just polish straight out. And then alloy on that side, very, very good indeed. And panel work all down this side, very good as well. What I love about this car is it's very original. It's not been messed around with, sort of sprayed or anything daft like that. Final alloy, absolutely as new. So externally, you'd look at the car in very, very good condition for the age and mileage of the vehicle. Let's come to the back of the car now. Rear door card looks pretty much as new in all honesty. Back of the seats and carpeted areas all in very, very good condition. And the panel up there again, very clean indeed. Leather work is absolutely extraordinary. It's just incredibly clean and tidy. Driver's door card again, all very clean and original. Hardly any marks of any note on there at all. And then in the front here, leather seats in very good condition. Only tiniest amount of wear attached to them. Should expect them any car this age of mileage. Just to look above our heads here. Electric sunroof, and tilted up. We'll slide it back, but all working exactly as it's intended to. So inside the car now, obviously the engine's running, so it has been all the way through. Passenger door card again looks absolutely as new. Just a pan down there, just to show you, do have the original owner's manual pack with navigation and car manual. And very importantly, the lock and wheel nut key is here and present with the car. Dashboard looks in fantastic condition, very, very, very clean inside this car. Sat nav, as you can see there, working absolutely perfectly. Cool box and air conditioning working perfectly as well. But it's just been kept really nicely. Down the centre here, we have this little sort of tray in the middle. If you pull the tab up there, you can lock it out the way as well if you so wish. And then inside, hopefully you can see, heated seats, and they work exactly as they should as well. Coming into the dashboard, 60,671 miles. As you see there, with the engine running, there's no warning lights in the car at all. But it all is in really, really fabulous condition. So finally, just come under the engine bay. As you expect from Honda, they always do these things rather nicely, very well presented. A lot noisier on the video than it is when you physically stood here, just the way the microphone picks up on them. SO05OBZ engines, no cam belts and no DPF filters either, which is really, really good news. What will follow this video will be a road test of this very car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda CR-V 2.2 Executive diesel. This particular car's registered SO05OBZ. Mileage at the start of this road test is 60,666 miles. The reason we do the road tests, as I say in all of them, is very simple indeed. We want customers to see cars in operation prior to coming to see us. That way, if there's any issues with the vehicle, you can be told about them prior to you coming. You know, to be perfectly honest with the internet's brilliant. It allows you to look for cars of a certain type, mileages, specs, you know, all over the country. But you know, it's fraught with having your time wasted if there's a fundamental problem with the car, which you really should be told about prior to setting off. We've been on the receiving end ourselves, so that's why we do it. Road tests are also done on exactly the same road test route as any prospective buyer will go on, and they're lovely, quiet country roads. Testament to that, of course, is that we're now stuck behind a tractor and trailer, but they go a fair old lick these days, so it's not too bad. So starting with the engine on the car, clearly with such a low mileage, you'd expect the engine to be in good order, and it certainly is. Starts absolutely instantly, settles to a very smooth, very even idle. Whether the clutch is in or out, the engine note stays the same. There's no vibrations, clatterings, nothing at all. It's a very good example of what is a really lovely engine. They're very smooth, not very diesel-like at all. It's only around a kind of much lower gears that you have any idea that it's really a diesel. Once you're on the move, it's very, very smooth indeed. Looking at the dashboard here, there's no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the vehicle. Temperature gauge on the vehicle is running at a third of the way up, and then the car's been running for some time now. All Hondas, whether petrol, diesel or otherwise, should run around about a third on the temperature gauge at their normal operating temperature, and that's exactly where this one is. Engine then feeds through clutch and into gearbox. Clutch on the car, smooth, light in operation, it's squeak free, click free. As I said before, there's no discernible change in engine note whether the clutch is in or out. Bites absolutely perfectly. Give it a fair chunk of wallop on the throttle, and it bites absolutely perfectly well. Clutch then feeds through into the Honda 6-speed gearbox. On this vintage, it was only the diesel that got the 6-speed. Later ones, the petrol's got 6 speeds as well, but the gearbox itself, another classic Honda gearbox. Very, very good gear change. Simple, easy to change gear. Very well defined gate. Absolutely brilliant synchromesh on Honda cars. They are world beaters at synchromesh on cars. And it's an incredibly tough and durable gearbox. We've never ever touched one. We've sold tons of CR-Vs over the years. But what I'm looking for on videos like this or road tests is just signs of wear in the gear linkage, and there's nothing on it at all. It feels as tight as it did when it came off the production line. Every gear selects beautifully. There's no notchiness or anything at all. So in terms of powertrain of the vehicle, engine, clutch and gearbox, all absolutely spot on. Really, really good indeed. Steering on the car, I love this generation. It's proper hydraulic power steering, all the better for it. The track's absolutely bullet straight. There's no vibrations coming back through the steering wheel at all on the vehicle. Certainly up to these speeds, and I'll check at the higher speeds as well. But it just feels tight and taut in my hand. Likewise, the suspension of the vehicle, always a strong point on these. Very, very smooth riding, very comfortable. But Honda's setup means that you don't get too much roll through the corners. I mean, there's a fairly sort of challenging corner just coming up now, but you literally just turn them in and they hold the line. No fuss at all. It's just a very, very well sorted chassis, and that's very important, not just for the driver but for passengers as well. My kids are as prone to anybody else's, for travel sickness, but these they don't suffer with it at all in the CR-Vs. Again, what I'm looking for on road test is any noises coming up through the chassis of the vehicle, which would suggest a bit of wear and tear underneath. That's normally just sort of light metallic noises where you get like anti-roll bar links or drop links. Occasionally, suspension struts can work loose over a period of time, but this feels absolutely rock solid. It drives beautifully. It really, really does. I mean, it drives exactly as you'd expect for the miles of the car and the way it's been looked after, clearly. brakes on the vehicle, nice solid brake pedal. I noticed when we did the pre-delivery inspection that the rear brake pads were a little bit on the low side, so those have been changed. The fronts were good, but the pedal itself is solid. You give it a jab now, there's no pulsing or vibrations when you hit the brake pedal, which suggests that the discs are in good order. Looking around inside the car, it's in, you know from the previous walk around video, it's in lovely condition, but they're great places to sit and drive. In all honesty, they've got a really good driving position. Seat goes up and down on a little sort of rotary knob on the side, but the position is very, very comfortable and natural. You drive straight ahead, no silly feet, pointing one direction, the hands in the other. Nice elevated view of the road, really good visibility in it as well. It's a really lovely car to sort of drive around in. But the dashboard works brilliantly well. It's obviously got the sat nav, as you can see there, working perfectly. Down below that we've got this cool box, and hand in there, absolutely ice cold air coming into it, because I've got the air conditioning going on at the moment, and the air conditioning's pumping out literally, it's freezing cold air, which suggests that the air conditioning system is very good, which is a rarity on a car this age. But all the controls, very high quality, all work wonderfully well. Obviously executive models, so not only do you get leather seats, you get heated seats as well, and I've had them on and they work absolutely perfectly. Just checking the cruise control. Yeah, and again, that works exactly as it should. Dashboard on the vehicle, all the pixelation, all the readouts exactly as they should be. Very nice, very easy to use dashboard. Very classic Honda in all honesty. They do these things very, very well indeed. There's all the information on there, it's all you need. But it's nice and classy. It's very nicely done. But looking around inside the car, as I said, any wear on it is absolutely minimal. It's a really nice car, but what the video can't really get across is just how solid these cars actually feel on the road. They are a genuinely brilliantly built car, and we're now talking about a car that's coming to 12 years old, and this is, in reality, this is true build quality. This is build quality not just for the first year or two. But it really sort of makes my blood boil when you hear these motor magazines just harping on about Germans and how well they build their cars. Well, they do, but the reality is, everyone knows it in the trade, the long-term ownership of cars, day-to-day bread and butter cars, Honda are one of the best, if not the best, at putting cars together that stand the test of time, and this is a perfect example of it. Finally, just quickly mention that you probably